So you've been walking around your yard thinking, how can I grow food for my family? I'd like to start a garden, but I don't know where to begin. In this video, we're going to show you two things. Number one, finding the right location in your yard where the sun's going to hit it most of the day. And two, how to get this grass out of the way and give you good soil to start your garden. This is South Georgia Farmstead, where we help people grow gardens to produce food. We're going to help you overcome mistakes you may have made in the past with starting a garden. And we're going to help you plant the right crops. It's going to work with you. You have different needs than your neighbor. But we're going to build a system that's going to work for you, your time, your location, your energy level, and how much you want to put into it. So come along with me as we start my customers' garden and help them produce over 600 pounds of food in this 20 by 20 garden this year. Let's find a location in your yard or where you need to put this garden. Plants need a lot of sun. 6 to 8 hours, more is better. First thing you need to do is come out in your yard in the morning time. See where the sun rises in the east and where any shade may happen. Next time, come out here at lunchtime, midday. Sun's pretty much going to be overhead. The only shade you're going to have is something that's real close to where the area you're going to put your garden. And the last thing is the evening. But we want the most sunlight for most of the day we can get on this garden plot. Now, another thing to consider is how far this garden area is going to be from your house. If you've got a lot of land and you say, well, we'll just put it back there in that corner where the kids have room to play and they won't be in the garden. But that corner is 100 feet, 200 feet from a water spigot. That means you have to drag water hose out there to irrigate your crops. That means that it's going to be so far out there, you're going to dread having to walk out there in the yard to check on your garden. Well, it's out there. Everything looks fine. I'll go by and check it tomorrow. Or you go out there to the garden, and as you're walking around, you see something needs to be done. That garden will get neglected if it's too far out there. Just keep it close. The closer it is, the more you're going to want to walk out there and enjoy it. See what you're growing with your hands. See how you're helping your family produce nutrient-rich food that's offsetting that grocery bill cost. Another thing, too, is if your garden's way out there, is you're going to have to be carrying all your tools with you, your equipment. So closer to your garage or your shed and a water spigot with no shade, it's going to be the best spot for you. Now I'm working with this customer here, and we've located the area they want their garden. It's going to be convenient for them. It's out of their way of any play areas or where any vehicles are going to travel. A smaller, well-maintained garden will be more beneficial to you than a large, neglected garden. So, with the water hose being closer, you're going to spend more time out there just enjoying what you've grown, watering it, or automatic sprinklers, or drip tape, whatever system you decide to go with. All right, so we're ready to stake out our garden where it's going to go. Got a tape measure, doesn't have to be anything long like this. Decide how big you want your garden, 20 by 20, 20 by 30, 100 by 100. How much work do you want to do? How much time do you have to spend? So we're going to start right here. Customers decided they want the garden right here where this stake is. So we're going to drive it down first. All right. Hook our tape measure on. Measure 20 feet. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit and use that old thing you hated in school called the Pythagorean theory, where a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So I got 20 by 20. That's 400 plus 400, 800. The square root of that is 28.28 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and get my cross measurement here and measure that out. All right. We got those marks there. Now I'll drive my pin up here by the camera that won't be on camera. All right, so we got our garden square. It's in the sun. Water spigot right there. Tool sheds right there. So it's not exactly level, which is fine. If we get a heavy downpour, it allows some of the rain to drain right off. So now I'm going to show you the 3 methods of cleaning this grass off. That's going to be the easiest for whatever you can do. Now, the first method is a tarp method. People in northern climates, the higher zones, all they got to do is lay a tarp out here. It's going to be a few weeks before you can plant. So we'll lay a tarp, we'll smother the grass, kill it back. There's some pros and cons to this method. Cons is it takes a long time. It's going to take you 4 to 8 weeks to do it this method. Pros, it keeps the beneficials, the microorganisms that helps your soil break down the nutrients that the plants need. So it's a little bit better to begin with for your plants. Less inputs from you, but it's time consuming. Not so much for you, but for the garden. It's not ready for you to plant. You're going to be sitting out there twiddling your thumbs, just waiting for the sun to warm up and for that tarp to kill this grass back. Now, another good thing with this tarp method is it's going to lower the weed pressure later on. It's going to starve the grass for sunlight, but it's also starving those weeds that are hard to deal with the deep roots. It's going to take a lot of tools to get up. So by this method, you're helping your beneficials in the soil, and you're helping your back by not having to weed so much. As you can see, laying out a tarp is not a lot of effort. Yeah, you'll need a bigger one for your area to do it properly. You just got to make sure that the sun can't penetrate it to feed the plants that grow under it, the grass and the weeds. You need to make sure that that tarp just blocks the sunlight so the plants can't do what they naturally do, which is photosynthesize. Big word, look it up. Here's an example of my yard of what the tarp method will do after a couple of weeks. This tin has been sitting here for I don't know how long, but it'll give you an example of the way it kills back the grass and actually almost starts composting it. Now this method here is the sod cutter method. I don't have a sod cutter. I went to the local rental place. I got this sod cutter. The half a day is going to run me about $50. Another place I called was a little bit over $100 for half a day. A 20 by 20 shouldn't take you that long to do. I know orienting yourself with the equipment is going to take a little bit of time if you've never operated one, but a half a day for a 20 by 20 or a 20 by 30 should get the job done. Good thing about using a sod cutter is you can cut this grass off, bed it up, and you can plant on it the next day. Low weed pressure at first, but that you just disturb that seed bed underneath, that the grass has been kept down, so you're going to have some weed pressure later on. This fastest method to get planting. If you're in South Florida right now and you're running behind, here it's January, middle of January. So you're running behind, hey, don't worry. We can get you planting next week with this method. It's just going to take the top off the top layer of soil. This way you can take this side and move it to a bare area in your yard and use it somewhere else. You're not throwing this grass away and not wasting your energy. All right, let's go. Now, I just cut it about 10 feet. Just so the rolls weren't so heavy. But if you got some young teenagers at your house, make them work. Just break it into easily managed pieces. When you roll it, it ain't very heavy. Now, with the side cutter, you're still gonna have little areas like this if you not perfectly on the line. But as you can see, clean up's pretty easy. One thing I forgot to mention is this ground is hard and compact. So I recommend that when you rent that side cutter or whatever plans you have for getting the grass out of the way, whether it's the tarp method, you're still going to need a rotary tiller to turn this soil up one time. As you can see here with the sod cutter method, and then coming back with the rotary tiller, everything's pretty smooth. A few little clumps. You might have a little bit of roots to rake through just on the surface, but down deep, everything is tilled good. Now this is the rotary tiller method. I did the same plot a few months ago. Just went one pass around, break up the grass. The homeowner's going to plant tulip bulbs or some kind of a bulb flower here. So I come back, did this the second pass on this after it sat for a few months. And as you can see, the grass that you have to rake out is one of the reasons why I don't prefer the rotary till method as your primary means of getting the grass up. You're going to disturb that seed bed, so you're going to have weed pressure later on, and that grass is going to continue to grow and come up. You're going to be fighting this grass for the whole year long. Every time you go to plant or reseed anything. Now the other day when I did this the second time, we got some rain the next few days. So I let it sit here and just see what it would look like after some rain on it. The soil's a little bit heavier, but it does allow you to rake through it. And the grass wants to come up a little bit easier, I find it. than if you just raked it the very first time right after you did it. I don't know, it don't make sense to me, but that's what I found in the past. So this is another method if you can't afford to rent, 2 pieces of equipment, or your neighbor actually has a rotary tiller. So there's no telling what you're going to find when you do dig up your garden. I don't know if you're going to dig down deep enough to get any utilities, but you may want to call 411 before you dig. If you don't know, what's under your land, or if you live in a neighborhood they just built a few years ago, you don't know where the utilities are or anything like that. So my personal opinion on the 3 methods is, if you've got time, or if you're starting to garden in the summertime, the dead heat, go ahead and put a tarp down. We're shooting this video in the midwinter, I guess, for my area. It may be in the middle of the winter for you. When you're seeing the video, it may be middle of the summer. But these 3 methods can work any time of the year. We can get you something growing. If you're in Iowa, we can put down a tarp in the middle of summer, and you can grow a fall crop of something. Get some lettuce out of it, some cabbage, or if you're starting it in the spring, the side cutter and the rotary tiller will probably be your best option to go ahead and get it going. I do not like the rotary tiller alone. It's a lot of work to do, and it creates more work in the growing season. So my 2 methods that I would recommend, depending on your time window, is tarp method with the rotary tiller, or the sod cutter and then rotary tilling it after that. So there you have your 3 methods of getting the grass off and getting the soil exposed and getting ready to plant. Work in this area, you know how much labor it's going to take you. The garden area, once you do the rows out, and just the weekly, daily chores of keeping the weeds out and irrigating it, it's not going to be as hard as the energy you used to build the garden area. Time you stake it out and do the work in it to get the soil exposed. I appreciate you joining South Georgia Farmstead for this video. Please subscribe, like. I know you got to go through all the YouTube steps, bells and whistles, but we're going to try to produce 2 videos a week and get you in the garden state of mind, get you ready. In the next video, we're going to take a soil sample of the area and get your seeds picked out. And I debated on which video to shoot first, the ordering seeds or doing your area. Now you know the work it's going to take to get this going, and you've got something out there in your yard now that you're looking at, and you're like, man, I've already done that work. That's the hardest work there is in the garden. The rest of it's going to be downhill from here. Well, it's not simple, but we're going to help you work through any mistakes you have. Anything can be fixed. If you screw up in one area, it's something growing. We'll replant it, depending on what stage it's in, or there's other options to go with to get that food out there for your family. Thank you.